Hi guys, this is week 2 of remote learning. Um, really sad that we're not in a college setting, but actually feel like in terms of what you're missing, we would still be working through the book, which is something you can do remotely. So please don't panic, don't feel anxious. Everything will be fine. Um, so we're doing some quick feedback from last week, chapters 17 to 20. You can compare the answers with your own, and you can look at a critical analysis and add any notes to your book or work that's necessary. I ummed and ahed about whether you needed a video for these first couple of weeks while we were going through these, but I thought that you might like to hear my lovely voice. You might be missing it. So just really quickly, chapter 17, you can just pause this and sorry, I can't seem to stop messages pinging up in the corner. Just pause these, have a read through, make them through your notes from 1 to 6. 1 being, what is the setting for chapter 17? How is this a contrast to the previous setting? The Pontelliers return to their home in New Orleans. It's luxurious and completely conventional, befitting Leonce's position in the community. This setting places restraints on Edna that the Grand Isle did not. So all you need to do is pause this page, read through the questions and the answers, add or change any of yours that are necessary. And the same for the next one. Pause, do the same. And finally, chapter 20, 1 to 4. Again, pause, read the answers, compare with what you wrote. Okay. So far, I've had about 50% of the work sent through to me. And I understand there's a range of reasons for that. But obviously, the more I get through, the more I can gauge an understanding of what we are and aren't understanding. Great. So just a little bit of extra analysis. Chapter 17 to 20. Chapter 17, Leonce's materialism and devotion to convention are highlighted in this chapter. When Chopin indicates that Leonce greatly valued his possessions chiefly because they were his, the implication is that Edna too is valued for that same reason rather than on her own qualities. This is something that's gone throughout the novel, as we've seen right from the beginning. The reference to her as the bird, the idea he didn't like her getting sunburnt, and so on and so forth. He warns Edna that abandoning her callers on her reception day is potentially damaging to his business and by extension their lifestyle, explaining that it's just such seeming trifles that we've got to take seriously. Such things count. His goals are strictly financial and superficial. He wants to keep up with the procession that is the upper class life. Edna's priorities are no longer compatible with Leonce's. Perhaps she never shared his goals, but never felt strongly enough to assert her opinions through her actions. And we've seen before Leonce's desire to fit in within that social convention, going to the club, sending her things that you know to show in that case he was sorry, but to reflect his money and his lifestyle. There's lots of occasions in the novel where we see Leonce valuing sort of the importance of society and finance and so on and so forth. Note that while in this chapter she may fling her wedding ring to the ground, her small boot heel did not make a mark upon the little glittering circlet, which she puts back on her finger when the maid finds it on the floor. Her powers are not enough to bring about an end or real change to the society which has such exacting expectations. She can and will, however, change her own responses to those demands and change her one small life. And we've seen this before, the idea that the pressures of societies are too big for her to move past. That idea of reflected throughout. Important in chapter 18, the idea that Madame Rathicunol provides the image of a wife that Leonce desires Edna to be. She keenly listened in everything her husband said, laying down her fork for the better attention. While the Raticunols seem to have an ideal union, and Madame Raticanol seems to be eminently fulfilled in her role as mother-woman, Edna pities her for the colourless existence which never uplifted its processes beyond the region of blind contentment, in which she should never have the taste of life's delirium. So it's all about, we're seeing that although it might be presented that their marriage is ideal within the constraints of that society, that Edna does not see it as such, because obviously it's not what she what she envisions for herself or considers to be important. Chapter 19. Edna's lack of true artistry is further depicted in this chapter. On her bad days, when life appeared to her like a grotesque pandemonium, she's not inspired by the darkness of human experience and emotion as the great painters are. Instead, she paints when she's happy, reveling in the sensuality of existence, when her whole being seemed to be one with the sunlight, the colours, and the odours of the world. These extremes of emotion do satisfy her newly insisted desire for a life passionately lived. In that respect, Edna has gotten what she wants. Edna admits her lack of artistry to Léonce, agreeing with his assessment that she is not in fact a true painter. Yet Léonce's insight ends there. He feels that she is possibly losing her mind when she is in reality finding her true self, the self that rejects the role of housewife and the performer socialising that accompanies her role in society. And obviously it's interesting there, isn't it, that he feels she's losing her mind because she's rebelling against the expectations of her society. I obviously personally read quite fast. I have set chapters 20 to 25 in part because I know you also have study time. So if you don't read that fast, you obviously have a little bit of extra time designated to you to catch up on this work that we're doing. So please read chapters 20 to 25. This here is the audio book. I find it really challenging to listen through and work out where all the chapters start because it doesn't like ping up a number. But I've listened through a couple of times and I believe chapter 20 starts at 2 hours 20 minutes somewhere. It might be like 02 or 04, but it's somewhere around 2 hours 20 minutes. This link here, the YouTube link as well, is some American guy, but I think he actually does a great job summarizing chapters, and it's got a little bit of animation with it. I rate it. Perhaps you can see if you do. So then obviously it's pretty straightforward, guys. Pause the video and answer the following questions, chapter 20 through to 21. Pause the next ones. Pause the next ones. Okay, you'll also find a short list of extensions on the additional PDF. I really hope everything's okay. Please feel free to message or email me. At some point soon we'll do a live lesson. I just need to, I just want you to get through a little bit more of the reading first, okay? Take care, be safe. Mrs. Pease.